ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the question and answer session on session 5. Yeah.
Shivani Agarwal. Why Kurukshetra is called Dharma Kshetra? If you can explain in more details.
This I explained in session 1. The whole, actually session 1, 2, 3. Sorry, not session 1, session 4. Session 4 was about Kurukshetra. Session 1, 2 also I explained little bit about, but the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra Samaveta Yutsavah, Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. That we explained in session 4, I think. Correct? Huh? Session 4, you can go through that. It's only half an hour video. I will briefly, quickly tell you. There are many holy things that have taken place in that holy land. Indra had blessed people who take birth in Kurukshetra and leave their body will attain heaven. He had given that blessing to Maharaj Kuru in his times. Similarly, many rishis like Mudgala Rishi have performed sacrifices in Kurukshetra. And also it is said Kurukshetram Deva Yajanam, it is said that any time you go to Kurukshetra, there will always be yajnas going on there. Every nook and corner. It's such a holy place it is. Yeah. Next. And you can hear the video for more. Okay.
Rajiv Ranjan. What is the ultimate result of chanting the holy name of the Lord?
The ultimate result of chanting holy name of the Lord is the heart becomes cleansed completely and we awaken love for God. And that love will be so sweet and purifying experience that God becomes controlled by that love. Like Arjuna had that love with which he called Krishna. Krishna became his charioteer. Yashoda called Krishna with love, and Krishna became her baby in her lap, isn't it? In this way, the chanting of Hare Krishna will ultimately produce the love of God. But below that love of God, there are innumerable benefits. Let me tell you from the bottom. The first benefit of chanting the holy name is the mind will become concentrated. Because right now, mind is diffused with so many thought processes. But when you sit in one place and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you withdraw the mind and try to focus on hearing one mantra and don't let the mind run away. So this is like taking a magnifying glass and focusing on a focal point. And the more concentration increases, you will attain the samadhi. Samahitaha, it is said. Then that one pointed attention will come in everything. Whether you go for an interview, you can listen well. If you are studying your subjects, whether it's Bhagavad Gita or college subjects, you will get concentration. You will avoid unnecessary talking. You will avoid all bad habits. All good concentration will come for you. And then subsequently what happens by good concentrated chanting, the impurities in the heart like lust, anger, greed, they will all be cleansed away. It is said. Then when they are cleansed away, the mind will become pavitra, it will become very holy. Then you will become peaceful, you will become blissful. And then the chanting of the holy name will produce 4 benefits. It is said as soon as one regularly chants the holy name, you will get association of devotees. You will get knowledge about Krishna consciousness. You will get engagement in services for Krishna. And finally, Vaikuntha airplane will come and take you back home, back to Godhead. Like Ajamila said, Narayana! Like that he shouted. The result is immediately Vishnudutas came and gave, he got the association of devotees. Secondly, he got knowledge about Lord Narayana and the holy name, everything from them, from Vishnudutas. Thirdly, he got chance to engage in devotional service. What happened to Ajamil after they went away? He went to Haridwar and he lamented for his past bad behavior. And now in Haridwar, he went to Vishnu temple and every day took bath in the Ganga and served Lord Vishnu deity, attended the classes by the saintly people, chanted the holy name, and then 12 years later, Vaikuntha airplane came and took him back to Vaikuntha. The 4th thing happened. So all those good things will happen to us by chanting the holy name.
Tejaswar Rao. Bhishma is devotee of Lord Vishnu, and we know very well which was justice and which was he knew very well which was justice and which was injustice. Then why he supported Kauravas in Kurukshetra?
Yeah, there is a reason for that. You see, when Supreme Lord comes down with all his devotees, he told the Pandavas, you will be on Dharma side. Kauravas, you will be on Adharma side. And Bhishma, you also will be on Adharma side. But Bhishma said, my Lord, I am your devotee. Why do you want me to be on Kaurava side? I also want to be on Pandava side. But Lord said, no, Bhishma, I have a desire to do stunt with some devotees. Because just like sometimes father and son have a stunt at home, isn't it? There's fun in that stunt. When we are small kids, we fight, isn't it? So Lord also likes to do stunt. But who will do stunt with him in spiritual world? No devotee would want to do stunt with him. So Lord in this world, when he comes here, he requests Bhishma, you go to the other side. We both will send arrows, bow and arrows. We will have a good game of fighting. It's called Virya Rasa. Just like there is a Sakya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Madhurya Ras, there is a Virya Ras. 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. One of the 7 secondary rasas is called Virya Ras, where Lord likes to fight in the battle. So Bhishma agreed, okay, for your pleasure, I will go and fight on the other side. And that's the reason that he was fighting on the other side just to give pleasure to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example. Sometimes a king may appoint a wrestler in the palace, and the palace ground, king and the wrestler may be fighting, and all the queens are laughing, and all the ministers are laughing, having a good fun. But the wrestler is not king's enemy. He is also king's friend only, but he is giving kushti to do with the king just for the pleasure of the king. Like that, the devotees sometimes go to the opposite side on the order of the Lord. And then like Jaya Vijay, they became Ravana, Kumbhakarna. Then later on became Shishupal, Dandavakra. Isn't it? Then they earlier were Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. So they only became like this to give entertainment to the Lord by fighting. So therefore Bhishma came like that. Next.
Priyank Sharma. Recently I saw a video on YouTube on Advait philosophy, and the person was saying that there are so many Gitas like Ashtavakra, Uddhav, Ram, Ganesh, etc. Also he was explaining that Ashtavakra Gita is not indirect like Bhagavad Gita. So my question is that, are they bona fide? If yes, does Ashtavakra Gita support Advait philosophy?
Actually, there are many people who are commenting. Even the Bhagavad Gita given by Lord Krishna is commented by more than 800 commentators. So you have to be very careful in being very choosy. Even when I was in my school days, I got one economic edition of Bhagavad Gita published by one organization. They said it's only 15 rupees, although it was a very bulky copy. So I purchased it, I read it. I found that, the author is saying God is impersonal, and he kept Krishna and Arjuna aside. They never talk about them. Just talking about what is Sat, what is Asat, what is matter, what is spirit, and Aham Brahmasmi, and you have to merge in the light, and this kind of things they were talking. But then I had a question. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna talks about higher planets where devatas are living, lower planets where there are hellish planets are there. And beyond the Brahmanda, he's talking about a spiritual world. He's talking about spiritual world where we have to go. In the 15th chapter of Purushottam Yoga, Krishna says that we all have to go to the spiritual world. And Krishna repeatedly talks about loving relationship with him. 7.1 Bhagavad Gita, he says, Mayi asakta manapartha, you should develop attachment to me. Krishna is saying, and 9.34 he is saying, Manmana Bhavat Bhakto. In 66 he is saying, Mamekam Sharanam Braja, Sarvadharman Parityaja. I saw that, these people have very conveniently removed all those explanations about surrendering to Krishna. And they are talking so many things about Advaita. Actually, Advaita philosophy was given by Shankaracharya for a particular reason. Because at that time, India was submerged in Buddhism. Buddhism means atheism, because they don't accept the Vedas. They want to attain nirvana. They only follow ahimsa, that's all. So when Shankara came, he had a very great task of introducing the Vedas properly and making the people surrender to the Vedic wisdom at that time. So he traveled all across the country, and he thought, what is the best thing to teach people? In the Vedas, there are 3 levels of understanding of God. Vadanti tat tattvavidas, vadanti tat tattvavidas tatvam yadjnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdyate. The absolute truth is understood in three ways: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Brahman means impersonal aspect of God. Paramatma means a personal form of God, but a formal worship of God. And then Bhagavan is Krishna, worship of God. Just like, for example, India has a government which is impersonal. And there is a Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, in the parliament. And then there is Narendra Modi at home, which is more intimate with his mother and relatives and everybody like that. So three levels of understanding are explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shankara thought that personal understanding would be too high for the people. So let me introduce the lowest understanding of God, because from atheism, the easiest thing people will accept is impersonalism. So he gave them promotion from atheism to impersonalism, number one. Number two, he made them accept the Vedic literature. These two are great successes of Shankara. But then Shankara himself was not an impersonalist. He was a personalist. How do you know that? When his mother was about to die, he gave her the Vaikuntha Darshan and told her that today you will go back to Vaikuntha and meet Lakshmi Narayana. You will attain perfection. So he gave that perfection to his own mother. And he has chanted Gopi Ashtakam. He has chanted Jagannath Ashtakam, glorification of Jagannath and Gopis. He has chanted Bhajagovindam. So there are many literatures. He has written Bhashya for the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. Completely it's Bhakti Bhashyam if you read that. So therefore, but then he gave the Advaita philosophy for a temporary purpose at that time. But then catching hold of that, many other people who are envious of the Supreme Lord have been propagating Advaita philosophy. And as you have said, Ashtavakra Gita is interpreted in Advaita way by many commentators, and we should not read it. If we read it, we'll get confused and bewildered. You should read Bhagavad Gita, which is very nicely, properly commented by bona fide four sampradayas. Sripad Ramanujacharya, very nice commentaries there. Similarly, Kumar Sampradaya, Vallabh Sampradaya. And Srila Prabhupada has drawn from Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Ramanujacharya, Sridhara Swami. And then he has given very nice commentaries in Bhagavad Gita as it is. If you don't have this book, if you write to us, voicemedia.pune@gmail.com, then we will arrange to send you a copy. Bhagavad Gita as it is by A.C. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You will find this Bhagavad Gita very easy. In fact, I am teaching this course Gita Amrita Bindu only based on that. You can read that. And there are other Gitas which you have mentioned here. Uddhava Gita, for example. It's an authentic Gita, which is a part of Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. There's a Gopi Gita also in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a small section. Gopi Gitam, we call it. Then there is a Aila Gita in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 25th chapter, 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. Then there's a Bhumi Gita also in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then there's Yugala Gita. So these are all different aspects of the Srimad Bhagavatam book only. Selected sections are there like that. But apart from this, if anybody else has made their own Gita, Ram Gita, Ganesh Gita, they can call anything Gita. But what I am telling you as Gitas are authentically stated in the Guru Parampara. Only that we should accept. So my suggestion to Priyanka Sharma is that you get a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and you study, understand. In Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, he also will give you understanding of all the different philosophies. What is Advaita, Dvaita, Visishtadvaita, Achintya Bheda, Advaita Tattva, everything he will done. Till now I answered the session 5, and like this I am planning to answer every question answer at the weekend. And we will put one video for each of these sessions. And you all are free to send me such questions after hearing sessions and also doing the quizzes. Please enthusiastically take part in the quizzes also, and also joining the sessions, so that we all can do this yajna of completing our 108 sittings of learning the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Hare Krishna.